Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Whoo! Welcome back.
Yeah. It's a new year, new us.
It is a new year,
It's
2025, and it's starting off with a bang. We hope everybody has had a safe and happy entrance into this new year. I certainly have.
yeah,
I had a safe and happy new entrance. Yep.
Hey, yeah.
Yep. It's been good.
Looking at it filled with excitement. I'm excited for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was good, but I think this year's going to be more
I
exciting.
agree. Last year was good. Yeah.
Mm.
It's gonna be better.
And remember, guys, if you love this channel, please like. It does help the people
It does.
upstairs. Press subscribe. To subscribe. That's what I'm saying.
There we go.
And then comment. Really important because we love your
Yes.
comment.
Yes,
Yeah,
please. Yes, we do. And if you want to know more about us, our website is very minimal and it is about to get changed. Don't know how, but you'll find us at tcseveryday.psychics.com. And there is, the contact us form is how you reach out for all of our services.
Yeah. We do clearing, healing, loads of things. So it's all there for you.
All of it. Yep, it's all there. All right. Well, we have a video to react to, and it's unexplained things. Or things that need more explanation, or I don't know.
Things that go bump in the night and we have to explain.
Oh my gosh. All right. Should we see what this is?
Let's go.
All right.
Do you remember the nursery rhyme? If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise? What if that surprise was an eerie, isolated staircase that seemed to lead absolutely nowhere? Hey, it's time to grab your trench coat and magnifying glass as we take a closer look at some of the most puzzling, unexplained mysteries that need some serious explaining. Staircase in the woods. Recently, the internet has been abuzz with reports of some very strange sightings in national forests around the world, and I don't mean the animal kind. It began with a 5-year-old Reddit thread posted to the community r/no-sleep. In the post, a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service decided to tell some of his creepiest stories from the job. By far the weirdest tale concerns numerous occasions in which he claims to have come across isolated staircases deep in the woods where no man has ever lived. The staircases have no other structure attached to them and look like they've fallen out of the sky, or like the rest of a house has been ripped away. The SAR officer goes on to explain that, at first, he was told the staircases were nothing to worry about, but the next time he asked to check them out, he was told by his superiors never to go near them. People in the replies chimed in with their own creepy staircase experiences. Although most were situated across America, soon reports of similar staircases found in Brazil, Portugal, and the Philippines were posted. Reddit user TK622 even came across this moss-covered set in a forest clearing in Germany. And while these may not have been as grand as some of the others people described, they still seem oddly out of place. There are several theories about why these staircases might exist. The first, and perhaps the most logical explanation, is that they are simply the foundations left behind by long-lost settlements after the rest of the surrounding structure has rotted. However, it seems odd that there's no further evidence of such houses existing deep in the woods. Some have also suggested that they could be a type of deer stand, which are enclosed platforms used by hunters to elevate them to a better vantage point. But others have far more sinister ideas. Could these strange sets really be a pulpit for a moonlit cult meeting? And perhaps they're a gateway to another dimension, or worse still, to hell itself. As interesting as these stories may be, it's worth taking them with a grain of salt. After all, the entire r/no-sleep Reddit community is often used to posting short, spooky stories that are treated as fact, with little evidence to back them up. It's also telling that there are so few pictures of these mysterious staircases, but there's no denying that the sheer volume and variety of reports claiming to have seen them makes for a compelling case. Would you venture into the woods to find out for yourself? And did it suddenly get cold in here? You might be left scratching your head after this video, but there's one way to make sure to keep your brain...
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there about those, because I think this goes on to something new.
They're the stairway to heaven, Mari-Lyn.
Stairway to heaven. Yeah. I don't even know. How do people come up with some of this stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it was, well, personally, I think it's just man-made structures for supporting something. That's all. And we then just put our viewpoint. Oh, it's got to be this. Oh, it's a stairway to heaven or to a new portal.
Right. It's, yes. You climb up to that top of that staircase and then just walk off into some other land.
I mean, if you're on that blue staircase and then you go off and sort of straight into that pool. I think it's what they've shown us, I don't think there's anything really.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. But that was for a good laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, and I could understand how you can let the imagination run away with you, but no, they're man-made structures in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
or there was a plane landing and they just need to go those steps to get onto the plane. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. No. Okay. Let's go on.
Babushka Lady. On November 22nd, 1963, dozens of people in Dallas, Texas lined the streets to watch President John F. Kennedy's motorcade pass by Delaney Plaza. Little did they know, they were about to witness one of the most significant events in history, when the president was assassinated by former U.S. Marine Lee Harvey Oswald. In the days that followed, police searched for witnesses who could have captured the event on camera. Although the identities of most of the people present soon became known, their investigation revealed that hardly anyone had actually seen what happened. Even those with cameras had them pointed at the president. But there was one individual of particular interest, Babushka Lady. So called because she was wearing a Russian-style headscarf, she was standing on the grass between Elm Street and Main Streets, photographing the moment the fatal shots were fired. The police immediately put out a bulletin requesting information on the unknown woman. Now, nearly 60 years later, we still have no idea who she is or whatever footage she may have taken of the day's events. So, what do we know? A number of bystanders took photos and videos of the day, and Babushka Lady appears in a few of them. In Dallas resident Marie Muchmore's grainy film, she can be seen standing behind Charles Brem and his 5-year-old son Joe. Only seen from behind, she's wearing a tan coat and is standing with a wide stance, holding her arms up to her face. In another video taken by U.S. postal carrier Mark Bell, after the shots were fired, Babushka Lady can be seen with her back to the camera again, but this time she has walked closer to the street and stands across from the grassy knoll. Strangely, she remains standing while others around her are running for cover or sitting on the ground in shock. The Zapruder film, possibly the most famous citizen video, offers a frontal view of Babushka Lady, but her camera further obscures her already blurry face. Seven years later, in 1970, Beverly Oliver, a former dancer and singer at a burlesque club, claimed to be Babushka Lady. She said that she filmed the entire assassination on a Super 8 Yashica camera, but that 2 FBI agents seized it before she could get it developed. She even outlandishly declared that she personally knew Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby, the the man who would later shoot Oswald while in custody. But her story has some significant flaws. Firstly, Oliver was a slender 17-year-old in 1963, which doesn't fit the old woman image we see in the footage. What's more, the Yashica Super 8 camera wasn't produced until the mid-1960s. Oliver claimed that her camera was a prototype she got before it became available to the public, but her story has generally been debunked. Conspiracy theories surrounding the true identity of Babushka Lady spread like wildfire. Was she a Russian spy, a Secret Service agent, or an assassin wielding a camera gun? Some have even speculated that she was a man in drag, citing her wide stance, which seemed strange for a woman of that era. But because she never came forward to tell law enforcement what she saw that day, we may never know who Babushka Lady was.
Yeah, it's not that she's not the same woman.
No, I agree. Absolutely not. I think it was a man.
You think it's a man?
I do. And it's
Definitely.
okay if you don't.
No, I don't know what I get, but what I do get is it all part of the secrecy. And as part of it, watching it, making sure it happens, and and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sad part of events, I'm sure. Very upsetting, but I don't think they were there to enjoy the festival.
No, I think she was there to
I'm sure it happened.
she or he and and it's very possible that it was a woman and she just carries so much masculine energy. But my very first hit was it's a man in disguise, and yeah, definitely there to make sure that everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, and even possibly to instigate a backup plan if the assassination failed.
That lands with me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very sad.
Very sad. Okay.
All right. Here we go. This looks like a guardian angel of some kind.
Guardian angel. Plenty of people believe that they have someone watching over them and guiding them through life. You might find it hard to put faith in something you can't see with your own eyes, but after seeing this jaw-dropping clip, you might just have to think twice. This CCTV footage shows shop owner Serdar Benisiyi from the Teledere Mahallesi district of Turkey standing outside his shop when a mystery man walks past and taps him on the shoulder as a lorry speeds into view. This alerts Serdar to a huge metal gate swinging towards him from the back of the truck, which misses him by mere inches as he dives out of the way. Serdar, completely speechless, looks around for someone to thank for possibly saving his life, but the man dressed in black seems to have vanished altogether. The lorry's driver later paid a visit to Serdar's shop to apologize for the terrifying near miss, but Serdar never saw his savior again. Of course, the video sparked a bunch of speculation after being posted to Reddit, with some claiming that the mystery man could be a guardian angel, a time traveler, or even Serdar himself sent back from the future. Those in favor of the whole guardian angel theory point to the casual demeanor of the mystery man, and how he couldn't possibly have known that the metal grid was going to be released from the van just seconds later. Of course, though, naysayers have also suggested that this could be nothing but one big coincidence. Either way, Serdar is going to be thankful to this mystery man for the rest of his life. And what do you think? Does this eerie clip show a real-life guardian angel in action, or just one crazy stroke of luck? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any similar stories to share, I'd love to hear them.
I don't believe in coincidence.
No, nor do I.
Absolutely, I do not. something about the man being caught on film um, leads me to believe that it was a human.
Mm-hmm.
However, yeah, could the guardian angel have like influenced that man to touch him? Absolutely, yes.
So that perfectly resonates with me as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And you know, our guides, our guardian angels, our cheerleaders, they work in such ways that we just don't even understand.
Yeah, very true.
You know, even those of us that are psychic, where we have this connection, where we do understand energy, there's still so much we don't know, we don't understand, and we're not supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big mystery, Mari-Lyn.
It is a big mystery. Do you get anything more with that?
I literally felt that the guy was told to touch, literally, he doesn't know why, just touch his shoulder. And he did, and just walked on. You probably can't even fathom why he did that. But then it's like a little voice saying.
And he may not even remember doing it.
And then obviously the guy turned around and
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the other guy didn't have a guardian angel. He did, but it was just how things happen so easily, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very lucky guy.
Yeah. No coincidence.
That was a nice one. No coincidence.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Okay.
Now, where were we? The Solway Firth Spaceman. On a summer's day in 1964, Jim Templeton from Carlisle, England, visited Burgh Marsh in Solway Firth, Cumbria, with his wife Annie and his daughter Elizabeth. Templeton decided to take some photos of Elizabeth in her new dress. Little did he know, one of those photos would soon make global headlines. In the photo, a strange figure can be seen standing behind Elizabeth. Apart from his wife and two pensioners sat in a nearby car, Templeton had not seen anyone else that day. In fact, he didn't even know the figure existed until the chemist developing Templeton's photos pointed it out. This ominous presence may have puzzled Templeton, but to ufologists, it was clear. A white suit, a helmet, a dark visor, Mr. Templeton had photographed a spaceman. Templeton took a photo to the Carlisle police, who claimed it was nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, film company Kodak said the same thing and even offered a reward to anyone who could prove the photo was faked. A reward which was never claimed. The photo caused a media storm and appeared in worldwide news, but the strangest turn of events was a link to the planned launch of a Blue Streak missile in Woomera, South Australia. Just 2 days after Templeton's photograph was taken, the missile test was aborted by technicians who reported seeing 2 men in the firing range. Some reports even claim that the technicians were stunned after seeing the Solway Firth spaceman in Australian newspapers, because the figure in the photograph looked strangely similar to the Woomera apparitions. But that's not all. The Blue Streak had also been built at RAF Spadadam in Cumbria, just a few miles from where Templeton photographed Elizabeth, which also happened to be linked to a recent UFO sighting. Because there's no photographic evidence of the firing range sighting, these coincidences are hard to prove, but are they too strange to ignore? Some, like Sarah Spellman, chairwoman of the Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena, suggests that the Solway Firth spaceman simply struck a chord with the themes of the day and some of the UFO lore of the 1950s and 60s. In another photo from the day, you can see Templeton's wife to the right of Elizabeth. Others have speculated that she may have walked into the background of the shot. If she had been standing with her back to the camera, the overexposed shot may have turned her blue dress white and her hair dark. Perhaps Templeton didn't notice her at the time, because you could only see around 70% of what was in the shot through the viewfinder of the camera he was using. Still, without any further proof, we may never know who or what Jim Templeton captured that day.
Yeah, I think it's the latter. So
I do too.
The mother, yeah.
I do too.
And the focus just turned her dress White. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've been waiting for them to say that somebody was in the background. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just a
Yeah.
coincidence. There was the rocket going off in Australia. It just all just planned together. Just coincidence, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely. Mummy was in the background.
Yep. I agree. Absolutely 100%. She's a cutie.
And she's yeah.
All right, let's go on.
The Patamskiy Crater. Hidden deep in the Siberian forest is a gloomy, dark mount towering over the bright green landscape known only as the Patamskiy Crater. This giant, speaker-shaped rock measuring some 130 feet high and nearly 330 feet wide is certainly a strange sight to see in the remote taiga of the North Irkutsk region. But what actually is it? For a long time, scientists had absolutely no idea. They still have more questions than answers. Until 1949, it was known only to locals who called it the Fire Eagle's Nest. They believed it was a bad place and avoided it at all costs, citing tales of people and even animals who dared to venture too close to the crater vanishing under mysterious circumstances.
I'm going to pause this right now because I want to say this before it goes any further. I think it's like a meteorite or a...
Yeah.
I don't know what all those things are called, but when a star explodes in space, a piece of a planet or something, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go in.
Russian geologist Vadim Kolpakov was the first to study the crater in 1949. It looked like a volcano, only with a strange, semi-spherical dome cavity in the center. Stranger still, no trees grew on the slopes or in the crater. At first, he wondered if it were a giant pit mine or even an archaeological artifact, but quickly dismissed those thoughts because the area was so dense, and the local Evenk and Yakut people could not build rock pyramids like the ancient Egyptians. After his expedition, Kolpakov concluded that the crater had probably been formed by a piece of space rock that sliced off the famous Tunguska meteoroid that exploded over the Krasnoyarsk region in 1908. But that was just an educated guess. As the crater gained widespread attention, theories attempting to explain its existence abounded, from a UFO landing to a piece of neutron star falling to Earth. In 2005, another major investigation, led by experienced geologist Evgeny Vorobyev, was launched. But as the team neared the crater, Vorobyev collapsed and died suddenly of a heart attack. Subsequent investigations in 2006, 2008, and 2010 were able to gather material from the site, showing that the crater formed up to 500 years ago, long before the Tunguska event. Eventually, scientists abandoned the meteoric theory in favor of the idea that the crater is some kind of geological formation. They suggested that the mount may have been formed by fluids, like hydrogen, being released underground from a gas volcano. But analysis of rings inside the trees growing close to the site has also shown evidence of a period of unnatural accelerated growth, like those seen in forests around Chernobyl following the nuclear disaster. This has led to further speculation about a hidden underground nuclear power plant, or even buried UFOs with nuclear fuel on board. For now, the Patamskiy Crater remains a mystery, but at least we can all confidently remove it from our travel bucket lists.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was some sort of meteorite that happened, and obviously the nutrients in it then cause everything around it to grow and speed up.
For me, it didn't feel like it was a naturally occurring thing from the earth that emerged.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that either. or a hidden bunker.
No, I don't.
No,
that just doesn't land.
Or E.T. had to land. No, I didn't get that either.
Not at all. Not at all. All right.
Annabelle. If you're a true horror fan, the name Annabelle should be enough to send shivers down your spine. Annabelle is the haunted doll who terrorizes paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring franchise, and the 3 subsequent Annabelle spin-off movies. But what if I told you Annabelle isn't purely a work of fiction? The real Annabelle doll actually resides at the Warrens' Occult Museum at Elizabeth Monroe's home in Connecticut, where it is locked firmly within a glass box. While the doll in the movie is a frighteningly real porcelain doll with long hair, the real deal is a plain-looking classic Raggedy Ann doll with red yarn for hair. But don't be fooled. As Lorraine Warren once said, looks are deceiving. It's not what the doll looks like that makes it scary. It's what has been infused within the doll. Evil. Up until her death in 2019, Lorraine Warren maintained that the Annabelle doll was nothing to be messed with. In fact, there's even a message warning people not to touch Annabelle's display box. According to the Warrens, a man who visited the museum with his wife was asked to leave the museum after mockingly tapping the glass cabinet. But on their way home, the man lost control of his motorbike and crashed head-on into a tree, ending his life. Ed Warren has even claimed that the steering wheel and brakes of the car he was driving mysteriously failed when he was transporting the haunted doll to the museum. Without any detailed reports to substantiate these claims, some may say this is all just a load of hocus pocus. But if we are to believe the Warrens, this innocent-looking doll might really harbor a vengeful evil spirit. The real-life Annabelle story allegedly began in 1970, when a 28-year-old nurse received the doll as a birthday gift from her mom. She thought nothing of it at first, but it wasn't long until things started to take a sinister turn. She would find the doll in odd positions, or would notice pieces of parchment paper on the floor inscribed with unnerving messages like, "Help me." The girls turned to a medium, and through a seance, they were introduced to the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, a 7-year-old girl who once resided at the property. Annabelle told the girls she just wanted to be loved, so they allowed her to enter the doll. Surely that's number 1 on the list of do-nots when dealing with malevolent spirits. Things only got worse from there, until the Warrens caught wind of the case and took ownership of the doll after determining it was being manipulated by an inhuman spirit. Spookier still, in August 2020, several rumors circulated online claiming that Annabelle had escaped from her cabinet during the dead of night. Thankfully, those rumors were put to bed when Ed and Lorraine's son-in-law, Tony Spera, confirmed that Annabelle was safe and sound at the museum.
Annabelle's here in all her infamous glory. She never left the museum.
I don't know about you, but this is one mysterious doll I seriously wouldn't want to mess with.
See, you probably don't believe that, do you?
No.
Okay.
I don't. Do I believe that the doll could have been manipulated by an entity? Absolutely, yes.
Yes, I agree.
Do I believe that the doll itself is haunted and has a consciousness? No.
Oh no, I agree with that. Yeah.
No. I do believe that there is so much energy built up around this doll that people's own fear can create their worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a number of different types of dolls around the United States. I think there's one in Florida. I can't remember what it's called. It's in a little sailor's suit. Exactly the same thing. I think people, their own energy, fear adds to it.
There is this huge, I don't know if it's worldwide or if it's just here in the United States. People buy haunted dolls to where they are told that it is holding the spirit of a person who has died. And I can only presume that that all comes from this story. I had a Raggedy Ann doll that looked, well, that's what that is. That's a Raggedy Ann doll. I had when I was a kid. I loved her. Absolutely loved her. And I want to say about these haunted dolls, this is off topic of the Annabelle doll, but why would you want to put the spirit of a living person in a doll?
No.
That's so wrong.
And crazy.
So.
Yes, because apparently the girl got knocked over. I think if I remember, the girl got knocked over and so like, oh, we feel sorry for you. Come in. God, I mean, yeah. So don't do seances, kids. Don't do Ouija boards.
Exactly. So I'd like to know your take on this.
I agree with what you said. It's not. I don't think actually the doll is possessed. I think an entity uses the doll as a puppet, you know, and probably the energies, the amount of energy it's create, the amount of people's energy created around it, has given it strength. And I think it's a lot of things, so much energy gives into something. It doesn't mean it's going to move, but it can vibrate, and you just got to be careful.
Yes. And I like that you say that there's many things, because there is not one truth, right? So many things exist at the same time. And then the energy that everybody puts into it just explodes it.
Yeah.
If you believe something strong enough, it's going to be true in some realm, some fashion, in some way, energetically. You can. So, yeah.
I mean, it looks sweet and innocent, but it's not, apparently. So I don't know. Again, that adds the fear, doesn't it? Because that's why they had in the movie, they couldn't use this doll because it looks too cutie. They had to choose a porcelain doll that looks really evil and is going to get you, and that added the fear. So
adds to the fear, adds to the believability. Sure.
Have you seen loads of the dolls you young girls used to get? Oh, my dogs are going off. It used to be hideous, some of them with the cracked faces and that. Just, I know Pam doesn't like those type of dolls.
No, she doesn't. My grandmother had 2 dolls from her childhood that she had kept. And one of them was porcelain. She was so beautiful, and she probably stood 3 feet tall.
Oh.
I wasn't allowed to play with her because I was very rambunctious. So Grandma did not want her to have a cracked face.
Gosh, I think the only thing we had teddy bears. I think I had teddy bears, and I did at one point have a Barbie doll and a Snoopy doll. Yeah, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Morning glory clouds. The world is full of things we can't fully understand, and the so-called morning glory clouds of North Australia is one of them. Starting around September each year, waves of these spectacular rolling clouds begin to form in the skies of Burketown, Australia, a phenomenon known since ancient times as Kangolgi to the ancient Aboriginal people. These tubular formations can be up to 1,000 kilometers long and 2 kilometers high, and can move at speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour. Power gliders often cruise up to meet the clouds, turn off their engines, and float along and over their outer edges, sometimes traveling over 500 miles before landing. Eerily, as the clouds pass overhead, conditions on the ground reportedly become calm and quiet. These unique cloud formations have been known to appear in other parts of the world, like this one over Lake Michigan, but not as regularly and predictably as in this part of Australia. But what are they, and why do they form? Well, despite being studied fairly extensively, the morning glory cloud is still very much a mystery. As the name suggests, roll clouds, low-flying formations that can accompany thunderstorms or form from sea breezes, roll along a central axis. Although they can develop on their own, they more frequently occur in successive waves up to 10, like enormous ropes strung out across the landscape. And we may know what they are, but no one really knows why they form, especially in such a specific area. In northern Australia, the leading theory is that the unique combination of land and sea is responsible for the regular appearance of the phenomenon. Breezes hitting both sides of the Cape York Peninsula on the east side of the Gulf create the first line of cloud, but as the cold night air descends, it hits a warm inversion layer over the water and ducks beneath it, creating the rolling pattern. Moist air in the morning forms the clouds, which last until the day heats up and the inversion layer disappears. Although this seems to be a fairly safe bet, no one has yet figured out exactly what causes these utterly bizarre clouds, especially outside of Australia. All I do know is that cloud surfing sounds super fun.
I agree with what he says.
Absolutely. That absolutely just landed as to it's just a natural occurring phenomenon.
Yeah.
There's no reason to know why or how. It's just...
There's nothing odd about it. It's just so happens in that area, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's a unique area. So why wouldn't there be unique formations? Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Some of the wondrous things of the world, we as humans, for some silly reason, we have to find this reason, this absolute, this concreteness. Yeah. And if we could find more awe and wonder without having to have that concrete explanation, I think we'd have world peace.
Yeah, we would. Yeah,
I mean, that really sounds simplistic, but I believe it. If we could take more of the wonder and just appreciate it and admire it and be grateful for it. Yeah. I'd love to go see that. That would be awesome.
Well, either Lake Michigan or Northern Australia. Darwin.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. I don't know if it would be on the bucket list, though.
No.
Man, I'd have a big bucket list. No, not a bucket list item.
Mine's a small bucket list. Okay, next one.
You know what I'm going to say? My bucket list actually is pretty big. And if I were to go through it, I've checked some things off of it already. Yeah.
I've checked some of mine off as well.
Yeah.
Actually, me and my husband was trying to work out the other day, what's still in our bucket list? And I was like, really had to think. And there's a few bits, but we've done a lot already.
Yeah.
Quite lucky.
I might have to revisit that. Sorry, I'm totally off topic here. All right, let's get back to the video.
Traveling hipster.
Time-traveling hipster. In spring 2010, the Bralorne Pioneer Museum of Central British Columbia in Canada found out what it means to go viral when one seemingly innocuous photo from a digitized collection titled Their Past Lives Here found a new life online. The photograph, taken by an unwitting photographer in 1941, is a snapshot taken on the occasion of the reopening of the South Forks Bridge in the nearby mining community of Goldbridge after it had been washed out during a flood the previous year. The group of spectators can be seen in the photo, but one man unquestionably stands out against the rest. He wears dark sunglasses, a jersey, and a contemporary camera around his neck. His unmistakable hipster vibe, which seems way ahead of its time, caused the photo to blow up on social media, and soon enough, internet-savvy photographers were racing to unravel the mystery. Had this stylish 21st century gentleman somehow found a way to time travel? Of course, many who came across the image on social media were quick to brand it as a Photoshop job, which is easy to assume until you consider that it originated from a genuine museum collection that was first made available to the public back in 2004. Although there's no way of knowing who the anonymous man is, attempts to debunk the time traveler theory have centered around his attire. Some have argued that the items featured in the photo, like the logo t-shirt, wraparound sunglasses, and portable camera, were actually readily available in the 1940s. They just weren't common. For example, his shirt bears the logo of the Montreal Maroons hockey team, who played in the NHL from 1924 to 1938. As for the camera, Kodak did make several portable cameras that were available by 1941, although it's hard to tell exactly what type he's holding. His style of eyewear, however, certainly wasn't widespread at the time. Although you were able to get a hold of glasses with protective shields in the 1940s, wraparound sunglasses didn't become readily available until some 20 years later in the 1960s. What do you think? Is this a real-life time traveler, or just a dude who was way too hip for his time?
I don't think he was a time traveler. It feels to me like he's just a hipster ahead of his time.
I am leaning towards it was photoshopped.
Photoshopped?
Yep. Yep.
No,
He's bigger than everybody else. The lighting on him is different.
Didn't they say that the original photo, there was no way they could have photoshopped it?
Yes, they did. And I'm, of course, not going to be able to find.
It does look odd. I will say that, because with everyone else, he does look odd in there.
Mm-hmm. He just looks so out of place.
Yeah.
So out of place. His proportion is different. Even the size of his face compared to the man that is like off to his side behind, I think it's a hoax. That's my thought.
Okay.
And we'll never know.
No.
I love that we have that we get different things though. Yeah. But he absolutely could be, maybe he really was a big guy. Who knows?
I think no.
Yeah.
I just believe the hipster.
Yeah.
He's ahead of his time.
Crashing the party. All right.
Monolith Mystery. On the 18th of November 2020, a helicopter crew counting bighorn sheep while flying over a remote part of a Utah desert spotted a strange statue below. On closer inspection, they realized it was a gleaming metal monolith, standing proud in the middle of the Mars-like red rock landscape. The three-sided stainless steel object was about 10 to 12 feet tall and offered no clues about who could have driven it into the rock or why. But on the 27th of November, just as word started to spread, it disappeared mysteriously without a trace. Before anyone could investigate further, another large metal monolith appeared just days later on a Romanian hillside. It was spotted near the Petrodava Dacian forest, which was covered in squiggles and loops, unlike the smooth surface of the Utah monolith. It also seemed to have been welded together and embedded in a slot in the stone. Several days after it was found, this monolith was gone too. But it doesn't end there. The next stop on this monolith world tour was Southern California, where one of the shiny objects popped up at the top of a mountain trail in Atascadero, about halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles.
I guess this is the thing now, right? So be prepared to see these everywhere.
That is, until, you guessed it, it disappeared. On the first week of December, walkers then spotted a fleeting glass monolith on a beach in the Isle of Wight, UK. Among the next destinations to be visited by monoliths were Spain, Germany, and Colombia. But what are they? Who or what is responsible, and why are they appearing all over the world? The structures have been compared to the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, in which an alien monolith is a recurring symbol. Perhaps the whole thing was started by a new wave artist who also happened to be a big Kubrick fan. An anonymous collective called The Most Famous Artist eventually took credit for the ones in Utah and California, but said it had nothing to do with the others. In a statement, it said, "The monolith is out of my control at this point. Godspeed to all the aliens working hard around the globe to propagate the myth." Tom Dunford, a designer from West Sussex, then claimed ownership for the Isle of Wight monolith, saying he created it just for fun. But to this day, many monoliths, including the one in Romania, have not been yet accounted for. Although Colorado photographer Ross Bernards photographed 4 men dismantling the Utah monolith in the dead of night, there's no explanation as to how or why the others vanished. The best we can do for now is speculate. What do you think? Is this monolith mystery a classic copycat case, perpetuated by savvy creatives hoping for their 15 minutes of fame? Or are so-called monolith makers actually taking the credit for the work of some extraterrestrial life form? And if the latter is really true, what are you trying to tell us, little green dudes?
I think it's man-made. I don't think there's anything sinister at all. And I think where one just popped up, and I feel probably the first 2 were actually taken down by probably our well, it was America, wasn't it? I think we were taken down by government to not get everyone excited.
Sure.
I
Sure.
think it's all people trying to cause hysteria.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely.
I mean, I like the idea because it reminds you of that, what was it, 2001 Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yes, with the monolith. You sort of had that thing and everyone, ooh, but yeah, I think somebody's just...
And just something else to let people's imaginations just go wild and create fear. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And obviously, if you guys have something that can we want to put on and share, let us know. Put it in the comments.
Yes.
The title, not the link.
Yeah.
Disappear. Yeah, but we'd love to know what if you'd like to see something and us challenge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hopefully the variety of what we're going to do is going to, expand and
I totally agree.
a lot more different.
So watch this space.
A lot more different things. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, Nathan?
Not right now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your support.
Guys.
We hope you found this enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.